And hello YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of The Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan, once again bringing you my thoughts and movie review for the brand new Conjuring film, Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, starring Patrick Wilson and of course Via Vermega. Probably butchered that and I apologize. So, the Warrens are back, but this time they have to deal with something that might be a little bit out their wheelhouse when it comes to a certain issue. And this issue is having to deal when somebody commits a crime and say that he was possessed by a demon or the devil himself. That's right, the courts get involved in this one, and Ed and Lorraine Warren literally have to figure out what's going on. Was this man possessed? Was he not possessed? Is he telling the truth? Not, so they got to figure out what's going on before he ends up being sentenced to death for murder or whatever the crime was. You know what? I'll spoil just this. It was murder. I'm not gonna say who he kills, but he commits murder, and then he blames that he was possessed by the devil. So Ed and Lorraine literally have to figure out what's going on. Is he telling the truth or not? So here we are. And for the third installment of the Conjuring films, it's not bad. It's not the greatest out of all the Conjuring films. I'm talking about just the Conjuring films, not just in the Conjuring universe. Not counting all of them, but I'm just counting the first three, which is this one, the second one, and of course the first one. How does it measure up? Well, you do have Ed and Lorraine Warren. They are back. Patrick Wilson and Vimega. I probably butchered. I always butcher her name. They're perfect together. I think their chemistry in these movies are like phenomenal. I mean, they capture this probably the spirit of what the real Ed and Lorraine Warren were. So I enjoy watching them on screen together. I think they work really well together. So I like that stuff. And what I like about these movies is the fact that we really don't know if it's actually true or not. I mean, yes, it always says it's based on a true story, but how truthful is that? As a spiritual man myself, I do believe in certain things, but to a degree. But hey, listen, if they're like really real, then I can say okay, unless I see for myself, but that's a whole different situation. But I'm not gonna doubt that any of the story stuff actually happened, because this story actually did happen when a man committed murder, and he actually blamed the devil for causing the problem. So I think this was like the first time in American history somebody actually pledges that the devil or spiritual thing actually helped commit this crime. So that's the first time in any historical history books of murder or any kind of cases like this. So as the movie continues to have Ed and Lorraine continue to investigate this situation, it does bring up a lot of information about devil worshipping and hauntings and all that. For a degree, you do see the Warrens kind of struggle here, especially Ed. In this movie, normally Ed is the strong character that, he's always one step ahead of everybody. He's always got Lorraine's back, and Lorraine always has her little visions that she does, especially in the last two. And sometimes that also makes her vulnerable for what's going on, because she sees so much different glimpses in her mind about what's going on, behind the scenes of what's going on with these hauntings or whatever it is. And normally she's always the most vulnerable one, because the spirit or the haunting figure is always attacking her. This situation kind of gets something a little different with Ed. Ed has a problem in this movie that he's never faced before, and I don't want to spoil it, but it puts him in a difficult, vulnerable spot, and I kind of like that they finally reversed it a little bit, because in the last two movies it was always Lorraine who was always having the problem, but in this one it's Ed who has the problem. So I was like, that is actually really cool. Now let's talk about, are there jump scares in here? Sure. Are they great? It depends on the person. I always say when it comes to jump scares, it all depends on the person. For me personally, it didn't work. I'm at the point now with these jump scare movies are like, nothing scares me anymore to a point where horror movies are like, super scary anymore. Like when I was a kid, I first saw The Exorcist. That scared the heck out of me. Obviously, because I was a kid, and especially back in those days, they knew how to do scares, you know. But when you get older, and you know, some people are still scared, and I get that. That's people can't help that, but that's cool. But for me personally, when I see a jump scare, it has to be like, oh my god, I never didn't expect this to happen, or I wasn't. If I see a movie and I didn't know the premise of the film, and I just watched the movie without seeing any trailers or whatever, and I didn't know there was jump scares coming, then yeah, I'll probably like, whoa, okay, that got me. But this, see, I only saw one trailer of The Conjuring, and I kind of expect certain jump scares to be at certain angles for the film. There's certain dark rooms. There's certain, moments when somebody opens a door or whatever. Especially in any kind of horror movie, when you just expect it to happen. And with these movies, and I love the first two, especially with the jump scares. They really did get me in those, so I appreciate it. But now that I've seen the Conjuring movies, I've seen Annabelle, I've seen Creation, I've seen The Nun. Jump scares don't really bother me anymore. It's kind of a bummer because jump scares are supposed to be fun. You're supposed to go into a horror movie getting ready to be scared, especially at nighttime or whatever. And then you see a jump scare, it's supposed to be like, yeah, ooh, that scared me, but not in this particular film. What intrigued me about this film was the fact that it was the story. This actually was based on a true story, an actual crime somebody committed, saying that, hey, listen, I was affected or possessed by a demon. Oh, that's interesting. How is that even possible? Who knows? But for this film, it worked. Like I said, who knows if it's actually supremely true? Like, what is actually really true? I'm pretty sure the crime was actually true. The possession stuff, who knows? That's up to a religious person. Like I said, I believe in religion stuff like that to an extent, but hey, I still enjoy these films. I just like these characters. I just like learning about what do they do, how do they get these artifacts, and we all know they have the best artifact in their little room, and that's Annabelle. I love hearing the stories about that, or seeing them investigating whatever they're doing. I just like seeing them do this stuff, and it's fun. And like I said, I still enjoy this film, the jump scares or whatever, but what can you do? We're at the point now where horror movies are not exactly what they used to be. Like back in the 70s and probably early 80s, yeah, horror films are like, whew, you get goosebumps just thinking about a new horror film, like a Poltergeist or an Exorcist or Rosemary's Baby or something like that. You want to get scared like that. But then you watch the movies now, it's like, yeah, I know when the jump scare's coming. Yep, there it is. Doesn't affect you. Then you go to watch a new movie, I have no idea about where the jump scares are, but you expect them to be a certain spot. It happens and it doesn't affect you. Maybe it does, but I'm just saying, to me, it doesn't affect me. But listen, I still enjoy this film. I thought it did a really good job of giving us the same feels of what the Conjuring movies are supposed to be. Dark, creepy, mysterious, and you have these two investigators trying to figure out what's going on. They're kind of like the adult version of Scooby-Doo without actually having Scooby-Doo a part of it, but still. A lot of fun. The hauntings were cool. The so-called villain of the film was okay. I kind of wish we got more of a backstory about this character. Or maybe they would have given us maybe something else, a better, character. But, you know what? Hey, it's a low-budget film. They do really well. Give it a shot. If you don't feel comfortable going to the movies, it's on HBO Max, free of charge, unless you have to get the subscription. You don't have to pay extra like Disney does. Just give it a shot. If you like the Conjuring films, you like all of them, including the ones that are, not exactly about Ed and Lorraine Warren, kind of like Annabelle and the others, give it a shot. That's what I watch these movies for, because I like the universe that they have built. And I think they've done a really good job with them building up these characters. And I think they're a lot of fun. Very mysterious, too. So I'm kind of curious of what's going to be next, if there's another one. But only time will tell. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about it, and tell me this: are you guys fans of these movies? Not fans of these movies? Do you even like horror movies? What's your favorite horror movie? My personal favorite horror movie of all time is The Exorcist. I love that movie. I can watch that anytime, any day of the week. Movie's great. So yeah, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about it, and stay tuned for more. Thank you very much, and have a good day.